It is commonly known that you need to switch up your exercises by time to time in your workouts. But why? And what are the benefits of doing that? By the end of this video, you have all the answers you need to apply in your own training. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be talking about the pros and cons of switching up and not switching up your exercises in your workouts, how it applies to calisthenics training, and of course, how you can nail this topic in your own training. So let's get into it. But before I start, I want to make clear that when I say switch up exercises, it's only after a period of 4 to 6 weeks. Because if you would switch up exercise every week or so, you wouldn't have the time required to make progress on that specific exercise. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can start talking about the pros. So in my experience, I found out there is 3 main pros to switching up exercises. The first one, which is the main reason why most people do it, is that they stop seeing progress on a specific exercise. So they swapped it out for a similar movement pattern so they can start making progress again. For example, let's say I was doing bicep curls and in the last week or 2 I was struggling to add weight or reps. I will switch to doing something like a hammer curl or a ring curl and start to try to make progress on that. The second advantage is the ability to switch up exercises whenever you need to prioritize certain part of your muscle or when you need to focus on a weak portion in the range of motion. Let's say for example, I was doing push-ups and I wanted to hit more of my upper chest. I would elevate my legs and do a decline push-up to optimize the angle of my upper chest better. Or let's say that I have a weakness in the bottom position of the push-up. I can switch up to doing push-ups with a pause at the bottom to correct my weakness in the bottom position. Okay, the third one, which is in my opinion the most underrated, and I say that because it's very important and most people overlook this. And the thing that I'm talking about is reducing overused injuries. Let me give you a very common example of this, which is weighted chin-ups. Most people who will train and progress this movement for a long enough time frame will start to develop joint overuse, especially in the elbow area, which if not being addressed could lead to golfer's elbow. And all of this is true for most compound movements. Okay, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you there is more pros to this, like getting bored of an exercise and wanting to do something that is more fun, or even something simple like a change in your goals and your priorities. Okay, you're probably asking yourself, if all of this is true, why would you ever want to keep doing the same exercise? And now I'm getting to the main con of all of this, which is the biggest advantage of keeping the same exercises. And that is of course specificity. Because in the end of the day, if you want to do something, the best way to achieve it is to do that specific thing. For example, let's say my goal was holding a front lever longer and doing more planche presses. I should probably have in my training sets of front lever holds and sets of planche presses. Why? Because it's very specific to my goal. It's that simple. And of course there's the obvious stuff that if you're seeing progress with an exercise, you should probably stick with it and not change it. You can even keep the same exercise because your technique is not good yet and you want to make sure you have mastered the technique of it, so you continue to do it in your training. Okay, so how all of this applies to calisthenics? Okay, let's say calisthenics is a very specific strength sport that requires the ability to apply force in very specific joint angles, which means we want to train those specific joint angles with very specific exercises and progress them for a long period of time. But you need to also remember that calisthenics requires a certain amount of general strength and muscle mass, and of course a certain amount of conditioning, which non-specific basic exercise will provide, and those are the exercises that usually accumulates the most fatigue. So it's smart to change them to different variations on a more frequent basis. Okay, now the tricky part is applying this to the actual training itself. First thing we need to do is identify our goals. What do we actually want to achieve? If we want to get generally stronger or gain muscle mass, taking an exercise, progressing it, and after some time switching it up to a similar exercise will probably be the best option. But if we have a very specific goal, like an exercise we want to get stronger at, our best bet is to train that exercise or exercises that are very specific to that thing and try to progress on those for as long as you can. Another thing is to see see how a progression of an exercise is going. If you are struggling to make any progress on a specific exercise, or an exercise doesn't feel like it's working for you anymore, it will be the smarter thing to switch it up and come back to it another time. Or even the opposite. If you are seeing that you're making a lot of progress on an exercise, then by all means keep it in your training and continue to progress with it until you cannot progress with it anymore, or the exercise is giving you trouble. Okay, that's it. Hope you find value in this video. If you want to see anything else from me or any specific topic you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comment. And until then, I wish you all the best in your training, and I will see you all next time.